Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was a very interesting, only 10 minutes long, but nevertheless fascinating interview with Nick Blackwell. That was on IFLTV. Kugan Cassius conducted the interview. And for those who don't, maybe you're a bit too young now because it was 9 years ago, but Nick Blackwell was a guy who was injured in a fight with CHRIS EUBANK Jr. Initially, he didn't have an operation. He was put into an induced coma, drug-induced coma. The swelling on his brain went down. He didn't need an operation. And then he woke up, made what was pretty much near as damn it full recovery. And then, for whatever reason, he sparred and he was injured again. And on this occasion, he did need a brain operation. Now, excuse me, in the interview with Kugan Cassius, he talked, how can I put this politely and not disrespectfully? He came across as being, even though he was holding a coherent conversation, he came across as being a little bit, his words were slightly slurred. He had a rather vacant look on his face, and you would perhaps, if you didn't know who he was, you would think he either had perhaps learning difficulties to some degree, or maybe he'd had a couple of drinks, or, you know. And I don't mean any of this disrespectfully to Nick Blackwell, who was a true warrior. If you followed his career, he really could have a row with anyone, and he did in that Eubank fight. But obviously the residue of that bad injury, two bad injuries, and certainly the sparring he did, which, by the way, he was forbidden to spar, and I believe that the person that allowed that in the gym and so on, the trainer, had his license stripped, and it's been stripped for life, I think. But that's obviously left a severe mark to him. And in fact, when he was talking, even though, like I say, he held a conversation with Kugan, you did get the impression that there was probably more damage than on the surface of it appeared. And in fact, he kind of alluded to that throughout the conversation. Now, the conversation, a lot of it was, in fact, pretty much a big chunk of it was to do with, first of all, the $100,000 fine that CHRIS EUBANK Jr. received for hitting Conor Benn with that egg. Blackwell thought that this was an outrageous fine. And his question was, where's that money going? Is that money helping people like me who have been injured? Because the board have said it goes into the $100,000 will go, Robert Smith, the General Secretary of the board, said that the $100,000 will go into a pot for injured fighters, and it will help fighters, basically. It will be used for, I don't know, possibly private medical bills, things of that nature. And Blackwell said, well, okay, where's it gone though? And Kugan, in fact, made the point, well, there haven't been any fighters that have come forward and said, actually, yeah, the board helped me. That's not to say the board haven't helped fighters. They may well have done. And the fighters in question just aren't coming forward and saying, yep, they helped me out a lot, and, they paid this for me, they helped me in this respect, they, whatever, carers fees or whatever it is. But Blackwell was asking those awkward questions. He was saying, look, I want to know, I'd like to know where that money has gone. He also mentioned a bit in the interview between Conor Benn and CHRIS EUBANK Jr. And I think I saw a clip of this on one of True Geordie's podcasts, because I haven't seen that the whole hour interview. I just can't stomach Piers Morgan. But I did see Eubank say this, a clip that was on one of True Geordie's podcasts, and that was where he mentioned Nick Blackwell and the injury that Nick had suffered, and he said, fortunately, he's now doing quite well, or words to that effect. And Nick was saying, actually, no, I'm not doing that well. You don't see the every day-to-day struggle. And I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but and he also alluded, what's going on inside. I mean, I guess he might be talking emotionally, mentally, never mind just the physicality of a neurological injury, which is bad enough in itself, of course, but all the stuff that comes with it, all that mental, emotional baggage is, yeah, in a different sense, could be as bad, So Nick was, he didn't look like he was doing great. Even though he was smiling for some of the interview and he was sounding quite positive in some respects, he wasn't trying to pretend that everything was hunky-dory, nor should he. I mean, he seemed to me like he was being pretty honest. And he's got no reason not to be, I guess. He said that he does really enjoy boxing still. He still follows it. He praised Turki Al-Sheikh for what he's doing. And he did say that he was going to go to the weigh-in for the Conor Benn, CHRIS EUBANK fight. As if we get that far, of course, because last time we didn't, did we? And he said that he wants to see CHRIS EUBANK, who he says he's had no contact with him since the injury. And he would like to speak to CHRIS EUBANK and sit down with him and talk to him. Now, Chris put Nick's name in his mouth during that Morgan interview. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand why Nick might want to speak to Eubank, maybe explain to him exactly what the situation is, with him, just to enlighten him a bit. Nick it wasn't a case of I want to see him because I want to put it on him. I think he really just wanted to explain to Chris exactly how he's doing. And I can understand that. And he seemed to be actually looking forward to going to the weigh-in, seeing Chris again. Kugan said, we need to catch up as well, because I think they're on very friendly terms. But all of this does yet again reiterate how serious this game is. If you get injured, and it's a serious injury, and let's be honest, there are people who have been injured worse than Nick Blackwell, who have not made the sort of recovery that Nick Blackwell has made. Some people are left without any communication skills. They need 24/7 care. I mean, care in the sense that they are washed, bathed, taken to the bathroom and so on. Some, of course, die. And this Nick Blackwell interview, again, only about 10 minutes long, was very revealing. It did. Because if you'd seen Blackwell before the injury, he was very sharp, very well spoken. His accent suggested he was, from quite a good background, even though he might have been a working class lad. I don't know his actual background, but he spoke very well, very articulate, nice, crisp, enunciation, way of speaking. And to see him for portions of that video semi-slurring his words and looking for quite vacant, and at times he didn't blink a lot. He had that quite sort of almost a vacant stare. Yeah, it's sad to see. It is sad to see. But it is a reminder of what these guys give, in the ring. So if you want to have a look at that video, go and look at it. It's on IFLTV. Just type in Nick Blackwell interview with Kugan. It will come up. And tell me what you think of it. Leave your comments below. Yeah, and thank you very much for listening to this video. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new, you're helping us out, and hit the like button if you like the video as well. So, looking forward to reading what you've got to say, if you've got anything to say. And yeah, once again, thanks for your time. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.